Hello there, my lovelies. My name is Boomy and you're watching my channel, Boomy Reactions. Okay, we've got a treat for you foodies again, another foodie video. So this video has been requested through Buy Me a Coffee, and this one is requested by Jeff. Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you for your support. Now, Jeff said, hey, Boomy, I thought about you in the UK. No good food. LOL. Just a quick disclaimer. We do some things okay. Obviously, some of my favourite foods are British foods because, you know, this is the country I've grown up in. It's the food I'm used to. we do a handful of things okay. Like pies. We do good pies. You know, a fry up is good. Fish and chips is good. Sometimes I think it's actually based on the individual, and it's generational as well. I think our older generations generally have a preference to a more bland kind of diet, and then it gets kind of passed down. I always laugh thinking about like Indian food, for example. So when Indian food was introduced to the UK, I imagine a lot of our older generations at the time just wouldn't entertain it. Like, it wasn't palatable for them. I imagine a lot of people just couldn't stomach and, you know, weren't happy with these flavor combinations they'd never experienced before. And it was just mouth-blowing, mind-blowing. And now, I'd say most British people probably eat Indian food at least once a week. So if we learn, you know, eventually, change happens very slowly in the UK. You know, we get used to things, but it takes a while. So yes, I think we do some things okay. This is a quick disclaimer for our British viewers. I don't hate British food. But some things could have a bit of an injection of flavour. Absolutely. So, Jeff, you say, I thought about some of the good foodstuffs that we have in Minnesota. I hope you like it and try some of them. The wild rice is taken from the lakes by my tribe. Oh, that sounds very exciting. Right, okay, guys. So this video that we're going to be watching today, this is 10 foods invented in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That sounds obvious to our US viewers, but, you know, for some of us outside, not so much. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Okay, so I think I've just recently watched another foods created in Kansas City. I think it's by the same channel. So yes, this is from Decoded. Now, I can't off the top of my head tell you that I know of any foods that have specifically come out of Minneapolis or Minnesota. So educate me. This video is going to show me, I'm sure, 10 things that I have had no idea were created in Minneapolis. So let's watch the video. And guys, if you are enjoying these reactions and haven't been totally deterred by me saying that British food is bland, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much, my lovelies. If you're interested, I have a Buy Me a Coffee account. That link is over here. And if you would like to help support my channel any further, I have a Patreon account. And if you want to check that out at all, that link is in the description just below there. Okay. Was that like a filled burger?
There's a city in the middle of America that the food world has never quite figured out how to talk about.
Oh.
It doesn't have the mythology of New Orleans or the culinary swagger of New York.
Yeah, we all do fall into the trap of thinking of these places when we think of American foods. Yeah, okay.
And
Especially
yet, if you grew up here or loved someone who did, you know the food of Minneapolis doesn't need to announce itself. It feeds people. It shows up at church basements, lake cabins, county fairs.
Is it a tater tot casserole? Like I say, in the UK, I think the closest thing we have over here is like hash brown bites. That would be a good substitute, wouldn't it? I could try it.
Potlucks where everyone brings a dish and nobody leaves hungry. It carries the fingerprints of Norwegian grandmothers, Swedish immigrants, Ojibwe traditions, and a particular Midwestern belief that good food should be honest, generous, and built to last through a February that will absolutely try to kill you. Today,
I'm convinced now this is a stuffed burger. Oh, that sounds yummy.
Today we're going to Minneapolis, and we're not leaving until we've decoded 10 foods that tell the
Is it
full
puppy
story
chow?
of this city and this state. Welcome to Dish Decoded. Let's decode this.
A Juicy Lucy. I have heard of this.
No food in Minneapolis is more argued about, more celebrated, or more genuinely delicious than the Juicy Lucy.
Juicy Lucy.
The concept is simple. Put the cheese inside the patty instead of on top of it, seal the edges, and cook it until the cheese melts into a molten pocket that will destroy the roof of your mouth if you're not careful. Two bars claim the invention. Matt's Bar has been making the Juicy Lucy, spelled without the I, deliberately, since 1954.
See that magma cheese come spilling out there. Oh my gosh. I'm going to try it. I'm going to have to try it. It looks so delicious, so tasty. So no relation to a sloppy Joe. Is there any continuity about how we're naming these burgers? A sloppy Joe and a Juicy Lucy.
5 blocks away, the 5-8 Club says theirs came first. They've been arguing for 70 years.
Oh.
Pittsburgh occasionally tries to enter the conversation. Minneapolis lets them finish and then moves on. The cheese almost...
That's so belittling. Minneapolis lets it finish. Meow.
always American because some truths are non-negotiable. Has been trapped inside the patty under pressure, getting hotter with every minute on the griddle. Every Minneapolis bartender will tell you, wait, let it rest. The Juicy Lucy requires patience. The Juicy Lucy rewards patience.
Oh, she rewards patience. A hot dish.
If the Juicy Lucy is Minneapolis's most famous food, hot dish is Minnesota's most essential one. In most of the country, you'd call it a casserole.
Ah.
In Minnesota, it is a hot dish, and the distinction matters in a way that is difficult to explain to outsiders, but entirely real to anyone who grew up here. The structure is consistent. Protein, starch, vegetable, cream of mushroom soup, and a topping.
This isn't the first recipe I've heard that calls for a can of mushroom soup. Or can you interchange it with chicken as well? Is it like quite common to find these in casseroles? Can't be a bad thing, can it? I like mushrooms, I like soup, I like chicken, I like soup. It's best of both worlds.
The topping is where the theology begins. Some use breadcrumbs, some use crackers.
Crackers?
But in the modern canon, one topping has achieved near sacred status, the tater tot. Ground beef and green beans under a wall-to-wall layer of frozen tots, baked until golden, greater than the sum of its extremely humble parts. Hot dish was invented by people who needed to feed a lot of people with whatever was in the house.
Yeah.
There are Minnesotans who have traveled the world and still, when the sky goes gray, find themselves making hot dish from memory. That is the power of a dish that was never trying to impress anyone.
Now, Minnesotans, this looks similar, kind of, to a cottage pie, British cottage pie. You know, you've got your ground beef, got your vegetables in there. That last one just had peas and sweet corn. I'd probably put chopped carrots, onions, and peas in a cottage pie. It's not that dissimilar though. And then instead of topping it with mashed potato and making that thatch roof, which gives it the cottage title, you've got tater tots on the top. So I already know I'm going to like this. In fact, I might like it more because tater tots are yummy. Wild rice soup. Ah, Jeff, this is the wild rice that we're referring to. Okay. I like wild rice.
Before the Scandinavian immigrants, before the Lutheran church basements, before the tater tot, there was wild rice. Wild rice has grown in Minnesota's lakes and rivers for thousands of years. It is not actually rice. It's an aquatic grass native to the Great Lakes region and a cornerstone of Ojibwe culture for centuries. The Ojibwe called it manuman, the good berry, and harvested it from canoes in a tradition that continues today. Wild rice soup brought this ingredient into the everyday Minnesota kitchen.
That looks tasty.
Chicken broth, heavy cream, sautéed onions, and celery, built around wild rice that gives the whole thing a nutty, slightly smoky depth you cannot replicate with anything else. It became the soup of hotels and supper clubs and home kitchens across the state. The definitive bowl of something warm and specifically Minnesotan. Every cook has their adjustments, a splash of sherry, a handful of bacon,
Ooh,
but the
bacon,
wild
yeah.
rice is always the heart of it. Some ingredients define a cuisine. Wild rice defines a landscape.
Ooh, that's very thoughtful though. Wild rice defines a landscape. So I'm assuming the rice thickens it a little bit as well. I would really like to replicate that recipe. It looks so, so tasty. So it's like a chicken soup, creamy chicken soup, vegetables, and then thickened with wild rice. Yeah. Let's
In the late 1800s and early 1900s, hundreds of thousands of Norwegians, Swedes, and Danes came to Minnesota. The climate, they were told, was similar to Scandinavia. This was technically true and also a near-criminal understatement.
No.
What they brought with them, along with a tolerance for cold and a commitment to Lutheran stoicism, was a baking culture that has shaped Minnesota's food identity ever since. Lefse is a soft flatbread made from riced potatoes.
Ooh, potatoes.
Flour, butter, and cream, cooked on a dry griddle until pliable and faintly spotted.
Yummy.
In Minnesota, it became a cultural touchstone.
What
A
do you have in
holiday
them?
ritual, a grandmother's recipe passed down with the lefse stick, and ridged rolling pin that are the only proper tools for making it. Spread with butter and brown sugar, rolled up, eaten by hand. At
Cheeky. So are these more of a sweet treat, like similar to a crepe, I guess?
Christmas and Thanksgiving, making lefse isn't just cooking, it's ceremony. Multiple generations in the kitchen, arguing about technique in a way that is entirely loving. The Norwegians brought it. Minnesota made it theirs.
So these are sweet, but can you do like a savory kind of filling in there? A kringle. No, I've heard of it.
If lefse is the humble, everyday side of Minnesota's Scandinavian baking culture, kringle is its celebration mode. Kringle is a large oval ring of laminated dough, layered with butter like a croissant, wrapped around a filling of almond paste, fruit, or cream cheese, and finished with white icing and sliced almonds.
Ooh, yes,
It is the kind of pastry that looks almost too elegant to cut into, and tastes even better than it looks.
Oh, I like the layers going on in there as well.
Scandinavian bakeries across the Twin Cities have been making kringle for over a century, passing recipes through generations, producing genuinely world-class laminated pastry that takes real skill and time to execute properly. In Minnesota, kringle appears at coffee hour after church, at holiday parties, at any morning gathering where someone wants to bring something that says, in the understated Scandinavian tradition, "I care about you. I just won't make a fuss about it." You put a kringle on the table. People understand what that means.
Did I just see one there with some cheeky Biscoff or Lotus biscuits going on there? Yum, yum, yum. Oh, it is Swedish meatballs. They're similar to the IKEA ones. You can't beat them. They are so, so good with the berry. What is it? Is it Logan berry? Yum, yum, yum. A mashed potato. Oh, that
Before a
gravy,
certain
so
furniture
good.
company turned Swedish meatballs into a global cafeteria phenomenon, Minnesotans were making them the right way.
The right
They
way,
arrived with the
okay.
Swedish immigrant community in the late 1800s and settled into Minnesota food culture in a specific form. Small, tightly packed, seasoned with allspice and nutmeg, so they smell like the holidays even in July. Served in a cream gravy rich enough to make you reconsider your afternoon plans. The Minnesota version lives at the potluck.
Ooh,
It
that
shows up in a
gravy.
slow cooker, swimming in gravy, with a serving spoon and no ceremony. Not plated, not garnished. Just there, reliable, and gone within the first 40 minutes. It is immigrant food that found a new home and made itself comfortable.
Saying that it lasts 40 minutes is very generous. It probably wouldn't last any more than 5 in this house.
Which is, when you think about it, the story of Minnesota in a single dish.
Walleye show lunch.
Minnesota has over 10,000 lakes. This is not a metaphor. And a significant portion of the state's identity is organized around being near one of them in a boat on a Friday afternoon catching walleye.
Walleye.
The walleye, Minnesota's official state fish, has white flaky flesh and a mild, clean flavor that takes to cast iron the way few fish do.
Oh, okay.
Minnesotans will tell you it's among the finest eating fish in fresh water. Minnesotans are correct. The shore lunch is the ritual. You catch the fish, clean it at the bank, coat it in seasoned cornmeal or shore lunch mix, and fry it in a cast iron skillet over a camp stove at the water's edge while the lake sits quiet behind you.
Do you have it with
You
chips,
eat it
guys?
on a paper plate. The walleye tastes better than it has any right to because of where you are and how you got it. That is Minnesota eating at its most elemental.
Observing that plate there, eyeing it up. Did I spot some baked beans? We've got more in common than you think. Although we don't have fish and chips with beans. So that fried fish would be fish and chips. Or you can have mushy peas. Mushy peas are okay. You can have it with peas. Not many people have it with beans. Well, fish fingers are okay with beans. There's rules. That looks absolutely delicious. So it's like a Minnesotan fish and chips, isn't it? So you guys like it with chips, right? You gotta treat fish with chips. Yeah. Bars. Like a granola bar?
When a Minnesotan says they brought bars, they do not mean they stopped at a tavern. Bars baked in a 9x13 pan, cut into rectangles, transported in the pan they were baked in.
Like a tray
Are a
bake.
category of desserts so embedded in Minnesota culture that the word functions as a noun, a plural, and a social expectation simultaneously. The varieties are nearly infinite. But the bar that best represents Minnesota is the Scotcheroo, a no-bake base of corn syrup, sugar, and peanut butter mixed with Rice Krispies, topped with melted butterscotch and chocolate chips.
Now I have heard of Scotcheroos. I still need to try them. I need to make them because there's nothing in them that I don't like. I love every individual element of these. So something tells me I might be their biggest fan. But I need to try them. I have heard of this one though.
Sweet in a way that is almost aggressive. Impossible to stop eating once you've started.
Oh, I bet.
Scotcheroos require no baking, minimal skill, and ingredients any Minnesota kitchen has on hand. They appear at every potluck, every bake sale, every reunion where the dessert table is the real reason people showed up.
So they've got to be good.
The 9x13 pan is, in this context, a sacred object.
Puppy chow! Do you know, I started this video saying I can't off the top of my head tell you of any foods that I know have originated in Minneapolis. And actually, like more than half of them, I actually recognize. I don't know what they are. Puppy chow, yes. I could definitely become addicted to puppy chow very quickly. I made one not too long ago. It didn't last very long. And I made quite a bit of it. Everyone in this house loved it because you just keep picking and picking. It's like the ultimate snack. I was eating it for desserts, snacking in the day, breakfast. So tasty.
There is a moment in the life of many Minnesota children when they encounter a bowl of what appears to be dog food, dusted in powdered sugar. They are told it is called puppy chow. They are told to eat it. They eat it. Their lives are changed. Rice checks coated in melted chocolate, peanut butter, and butter, then tossed in powdered sugar until every piece is covered and the whole thing looks like a snow globe exploded in a mixing bowl. It is crunchy, chocolatey, peanut buttery. The powdered sugar creates a barrier between your fingers and the chocolate that immediately fails.
Yeah, but it coats your fingers and then it's part of the fun, isn't it? Licking your fingers at the end. It's so simple, but when you're eating it, there's a lot of really comforting textures and flavors that kind of hit you all at once or kind of come in waves. So like you get the icing sugar, you get the sweetness, you get the crunch from the mix, and you get that soft, nutty goodness from the peanut butter and the chocolate. It's amazing.
Leaving your hands white and your face asking no questions. It shows up at Christmas, game days, sleepovers, and Ziploc bags on road trips. It is not sophisticated. It does not need to be. It is a perfect snack wearing a ridiculous name, completely confident in its identity.
So the name Puppy Chow, is it interchangeable with Muddy Buddies? Is it the same, or is it is it a different state that calls it Muddy Buddies? Pickle dogs. Now, I've not heard of this one.
And then there's this, A pickle dog is a
pickle
whole
dog.
dill pickle spread with cream cheese and wrapped in a slice of ham or deli turkey.
Just a whole pickle.
That's it. You can eat it in 3 bites. You will want another one immediately. Pickle dogs live in that Minnesota category of food that sounds like a dare and tastes like something you should have been making your whole life. The sourness cuts through the cream cheese. The salt of the ham ties it together. The crunch against the softness creates a contrast that needs no further explanation. They are a state fair staple, a county fair staple. They appear on potluck tables next to the Scotcheroos and the hot dish and vanish at roughly the same rate. You take one out of politeness. You take 3 more because you have been converted. Honest, generous, better than it looks. Minneapolis doesn't have one signature dish. It has a table, a long table with a lot of chairs where the food comes in slow cookers and foil-covered pans, and someone always remembered the bars. It is a food culture built by immigrants who carried their recipes across an ocean, and by the land itself, the lakes, the wild rice, the fish, and by the Midwestern ethic that says feeding people is not a performance, it is an act of care. The Juicy Lucy, the hot dish, the wild rice soup, the lefse and kringle, the Swedish meatballs and the walleye, the bars, the puppy chow, and the pickle dogs. 10 dishes, 1 city, and a state that would like you to know there's plenty more where that came from.
Aww.
Stay curious.
They just look and sound absolutely amazing. The pickle dogs look like they would be the most satisfying snack for every pregnant lady across the globe. A lot of people like pickles, don't they? Get a bit of a craving for pickles. I'd try one. Maybe like the narrator says, I'll try one out of politeness and go back for another 3 more. Wouldn't be out of character. Puppy chow, no, I like. Scotcheroos, need to try because they sound absolutely amazing. So the hot dish, it's a hot dish, isn't it? A tater tot casserole. Lend me a recipe. I want to try one. I'll have to use the hash brown bites in place of the tater tots, but I think that works. I think that's okay, isn't it, guys? They're kind of the same, similar. Maybe less oniony, maybe. But yes, oh my gosh. Oh, what's the name of the those kind of pancake-looking things? What were they called again? Can you have them with savoury fillings, or are they like strictly like, no, you eat them with brown sugar? Well, they sound delicious either way. And I know I love the Swedish meatballs. They are so, so tasty. And the crinkle. I'm really interested. I want to see what they look. Did the narrator say they're almost croissant-like with the lamination on the inside? Oh, they look so tasty. More food I need to try. More places I need to visit. So thank you very much, Jeff, for requesting this video. Made me slightly hungry. It's lunchtime, so I'm never going to find anything in the cupboards half as good as those foods, though. And the wild rice. That looks absolutely delicious. I want to try that soup. Anyway, guys, I could talk forever about food if you let me. Take care of yourselves, my lovelies, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.